What the only way to fix what's broken isn't the machine in front of you, but the truth buried behind it? The wind howled through Pine Hill, Colorado, rattling the tin roof of Jack Grayson's garage. It was 1 a.m., and the single bulb above his workbench buzzed, casting jagged shadows over an engine that looked like it belonged in a museum or a grave. At 41, Jack was a man of few words and fewer friends, his hands scarred from years of coaxing life from broken machines. The engine before him was a beast. AV-12, rusted and silent, its secrets locked in a maze of steel. His father's notebook, its pages yellowed, lay open beside him, scribbled with cryptic notes about a man named Holloway. Jack didn't know why this job felt different, only that it did. A sharp rap on the door froze him. His heart kicked, instincts honed by years alone. The door creaked open, and a woman stepped into the flickering light. Her coat was too clean for Pine Hill, her eyes too haunted. Behind her, a tow truck idled, hauling a car draped in a tarp. Jack Grayson? Her voice was steady, but something raw trembled beneath it. He nodded, wiping grease on his jeans. "I need you to fix something," she said, gesturing to the car. "It hasn't run in 18 years. Can you bring it back?" Jack didn't ask her name. He didn't need to. When he peeled back the tarp, the car told him enough. A 1962 Holloway Continental, its curves gleaming faintly under dust and time. Only a dozen were ever made, each one a love letter from William Holloway, the automotive pioneer who'd built an empire on dreams of speed and soul. Jack's father revered him, his voice hushed when he spoke of Holloway's designs. This wasn't just a car, it was a relic, and this woman carried its weight in her gaze. "I'll try," Jack said, his voice rough, "but it's a mess. Won't be quick." "Time's the problem," she replied, stepping closer. "Not money." She handed him the keys, her fingers brushing his, cold and deliberate. "I'm Claire Holloway." Morning light spilled through the garage's cracked windows, illuminating the Continental's scars. Claire had left him with schematics and one rule: make it run. Jack didn't ask why, though the question burned. Holloway Motors was a legend, but its heiress didn't belong here, in a garage smelling of oil and regret, where the radio crackled with old country tunes. Yet she returned daily, her laptop open, her voice sharp as she argued with faceless suits over the phone. Jack knew broken things. He'd fixed snowplows, Harleys, even a tractor during a blizzard. His father, Tom Grayson, had taught him to read machines like stories, each dent a chapter, each bolt a choice. Tom's death 10 years ago had left Jack with a garage and a wound that never closed. But there was another scar, one he buried deeper. A partner, years back, who'd stolen his designs and left him with nothing but distrust. Solitude was safer. The Continental was a beast. Its engine was a labyrinth, its parts seized from neglect. Jack worked methodically, cross-referencing Tom's notes, which spoke of Holloway with awe. "He built for truth," Tom wrote, "but truth gets heavy." Claire watched, her presence a quiet intrusion. She'd sit on a stool, her tailored suits at odds with the grease-stained floor, and ask questions about the car, the town, him. "Why stay here?" she asked one day, her eyes searching. Jack shrugged, tightening a bolt. "It's home. Only place that makes sense." Claire was a mystery. She spoke of her father in fragments, her voice soft. "He loved this car," she said, tracing its fender. "Drove it to think. Said it was honest." Jack caught the pain in her words but didn't push. Her phone buzzed constantly. Calls about the board, mergers, legacy. One evening, as thunder rumbled outside, she let slip the truth. "My father died in a plane crash," she said, her voice barely audible. 8 years ago. This car's all I have left of him." The words hit Jack like a wrench. William Holloway's death had been a national tragedy, a visionary lost too soon. Claire wasn't just an heiress. She was a daughter grieving. He wanted to ask more, but call interrupted, and she stepped into the rain, her voice sharp as she fought off another corporate demand. Weeks bled into months, and the Continental's engine began to stir. Jack found himself waiting for Claire's visits. Her coffee cups a fixture on his workbench, but trouble brewed. Mike Tanner, a rival mechanic across town, had been sniffing around, his smirks laced with venom. Years ago, Mike had spread rumors that Jack cut corners, costing him clients. Now, with the Continental drawing attention, Mike's jealousy flared. "Heard you're fixing a museum piece," he sneered one day, leaning in the garage doorway. "Hope you don't screw it up, Grayson." Jack ignored him, but unease settled in. Then came the first twist. Late one night, as Jack pried open a rusted panel, he found a hidden compartment. Inside was a leather journal, its pages filled with William Holloway's handwriting. Sketches of a hybrid engine, notes on efficiency, words like soul and future underlined. The final entry chilled him. "They'll kill this if they can protect it." Jack's pulse raced. This wasn't just a car, it was a secret. He showed Claire the next day. Her face drained of color. "He was designing this before he died," she whispered. "A hybrid built for people, not profit. The board buried it, said it'd ruin us." She looked at Jack, her eyes fierce. "They're selling Holloway Motors now, turning it into a faceless brand. This car's his fight." The journal changed everything. Claire began staying late, decoding her father's notes while Jack tackled the engine's core. Their bond grew in quiet moments. Shared sandwiches, a laugh over a spilled wrench. One night, as snow dusted the garage, Claire's hand brushed a diamond ring on her finger. "It's not love," she said, catching Jack's glance. "It's a contract. My mother's idea, to seal a merger." Her voice broke, and Jack saw a woman trapped, her life scripted by others. Then came the second twist. Claire found a letter tucked in the journal, dated days before her father's crash. "If I'm gone," it read, "look at the flight logs." It wasn't chance. Her hands shook as she read it aloud. "He thought someone sabotaged his plane," she said, her voice hollow. "Because of this engine." Jack's stomach twisted. The stakes were higher than a car now. Lives, legacies, truth. The restoration hit obstacles. A critical valve, unique to the Continental, was missing and no supplier had it. Jack scoured junkyards, his frustration mounting, until Claire tracked one down in a Wyoming collector's hoard. For a price, they drove together, the road trip a brief escape. At Pine Hill Ridge, under a starlit sky, Claire opened up. "My mother thinks I'm betraying the family," she said. "She wants the merger, the money, but I want his dream." Jack nodded, his own past surfacing. "I had a partner once," he admitted. "Stole my work, my trust. I swore I'd never let anyone close again." Claire's hand found his, a silent promise. But Mike Tanner struck. One morning, Jack found the garage's lock broken, tools scattered. A police officer arrived, holding a stolen valve, the valve, claiming it was traced to Jack. Mike's doing, no doubt, but the evidence was damning. Claire stood by him, her lawyer dismantling the accusation, but the town whispered. Jack's reputation hung by a thread. The third twist came when Claire's ex-fiancé, Richard, appeared at the garage, polished and cold. He dangled a folder. "Sign the merger or this goes public," he said. Inside were doctored emails, painting Claire as a fraud who'd mismanaged Holloway funds. "You'll lose everything," he sneered. Claire's jaw tightened. "Get out," she said, but her hands trembled after he left. That night, Jack posed a question to himself. And now to you, reader. Can trust once shattered be rebuilt when the world, greed, betrayal, lies, tries to tear apart? If this story grips you, share it. Hit like, maybe subscribe to see where Jack and Claire's fight leads. The Continental's engine roared to life in a final test, but disaster struck. During a late-night run, a fuel line burst, nearly torching the car. Jack's hand shook as he repaired it, doubt creeping in. Claire, too, wavered, the blackmail and her mother's calls wearing her down. But they pressed on, their partnership a quiet strength. Claire ended her engagement, leaving the ring on Richard's desk, her defiance a spark. The board retaliated, freezing her accounts, threatening to seize her shares if she debuted the car. The Colorado Heritage Auto Festival loomed, a make-or-break moment. Jack and Claire worked through snowy nights, the garage a fortress against the world. Claire dug into the plane crash, finding a mechanic's report hinting at tampered fuel lines. It wasn't proof, but it was enough to fuel her resolve. Jack, meanwhile, confronted Mike, who admitted to the frame-up, cowed by Jack's quiet fury. The valve was reinstalled, the engine perfected. The festival was a spectacle, chrome glinting under a crisp autumn sky. Jack drove the Continental onto stage, its rumble silencing the crowd. Claire stepped forward, holding her father's journal. "This car," she said, "is my father's soul. He died for it, and someone tried to bury it." She revealed the hybrid design, the crash's shadow, and the board's greed. Gasps rippled through the audience. Then, in a move that stunned even Jack, she played a recorded call, Richard admitting to blackmail, unaware she'd taped him. The crowd roared, and the board's allies slunk away, their power broken. Claire's mother watched from the sidelines, her face unreadable. Later, she approached Claire, her voice low. "I was wrong," she said. "He'd be proud." It wasn't forgiveness, but it was enough. Claire's shares were restored, the merger dead. Backstage, Claire pulled the ring from her pocket, the one she'd abandoned, and tossed it into a toolbox. "I'm done with chains," she said, her eyes on Jack. He took her hand, his calluses against her warmth. "We're just starting," he said, and she smiled free. By spring, True Formwork stood proud in a renovated airplane hangar, its walls alive with clanging tools and laughter. Jack taught kids to rebuild carburetors. Claire mentored engineers on her father's hybrid design. The Continental sat in the corner, a beacon for dreamers. A plaque above the door read, "Build slow, build true, William Holloway." The hangar buzzed with students, locals, even a few Holloway Motors defectors, all part of a community rooted in craft. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the Rockies, Jack and Claire took the Continental for a drive. The engine purred, the road winding through pine forests. At Pine Hill Ridge, they stopped, the valley sprawling below. Claire leaned into Jack, her hand in his. "We built this," she said, her voice steady. He kissed her, the wind carrying their promise. They weren't just fixing the past. They were driving into a future they'd made, together, true, unstoppable.